What's up everybody, it's Seth from Fowler Customs, and today I'm reviewing the brand new Nike Lebron 14. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Before we get into it, I just want to thank the Snups app for making this video possible. If you haven't heard about Snups, basically what it is this great app for Android and iPhone that allows you to store your collections online on digital shelves. You can post collections of anything you want on your shelves, not just sneakers. Of course, I'm going to post sneakers, but I have some other stuff up there too. My favorite part about the Snups app is that I'm able to share images of things that I love with you guys and get your feedback. That's just so cool to me. People can check out your collections and wow the images that they really like, and also comment their input on other stuff. I really like hearing feedback on the sneakers I just picked up. I think that's really cool talking to you guys, and I've been trying to comment back to as many people as possible. Another really sick feature that I've been using a lot recently is the eBay feature, and basically all you have to do for that is click on the thing that you want to sell, click on the money icon in the top right hand corner, and basically what Snups does is they import the image and all the information that you put into the Snups app into eBay, which takes out a whole bunch of dirty work and saves you a lot of time. So make sure to check out the Snups app if you haven't yet. I'll leave a link to download in the description below. Also, make sure to give me a follow at Fowler Customs. I just started a new shelf called Sneaker Reviews. Every time I grab a new sneaker to review, like the Lebron 14s, I'll post it on the app first so you can get a sneak peek of what's coming up. So if you guys were already following me, you got a sneak peek at the Lebron 14s. So as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, the Lebron 14 was a shoe that I was looking forward to reviewing for a crazy long time. And then Nike kept teasing us with drop dates and then moving it back. And then they dropped randomly on the sneakers app, and they dropped in a couple different Foot Lockers and in Kith, and I just had no luck grabbing them whatsoever. And then last night I was checking out the Foot Locker on 34th Street, and these guys were just sitting there like a week early, which is crazy. They have a lot of releases that they put out early, but I've never seen anything like a straight week before it's supposed to come out. So of course I grabbed it because this is a shoe, as I said before, that I've been looking forward to for months now. So I'm stoked to finally have them, and let's get into the review. First things first, before we get into the shoes, let's take a look at the box. The Lebron 14 box has this crazy gray and black sort of digi camo or like digital static pattern with some matte areas and some gloss areas. But of course you've got Lebron James logo in silver on the top. You've got 14 on the back in Roman numerals. Of course, you've got some Nike swooshes thrown in there. You've got LeBron James on the side in silver. And on the front, you've got the size tag. I got a size 9, my true size. The suggested retail price was $175. People weren't really sure what the price was gonna be because the 13s were, of course, $200. And then the pair that dropped last week, the special edition out of nowhere colorway, sold for $225, which was a lot more. It was like 50 bucks more than this pair. So people weren't exactly sure where the price was gonna land, but it looks like on the standard LeBrons, you're going for $175, which is pretty reasonable. I mean, it's not great, it's not bad. I'm glad they dropped the price from the 13s, but you know, it is what it is. The official colorway of the pair that I grabbed is black, white, ice. So moving on to the shoe, here it is, the Lebron 14 Black Ice. So I've walked around in these guys for about a day. I've only had a chance to play in these for about 30 to 40 minutes, so there will be a more detailed performance review coming in the very near future. But with that being said, let's get into the upper. So the upper is a one-piece booty construction with a strap going across the midfoot, and one thing I noticed when wearing the shoe is that it actually provides a good amount of lockdown. Of course, on this colorway, the upper is black, and it's made up of 3 different layers. The first layer on the inside of the shoe is this really thin neoprene material, and then on top of that, you've got this perforated foam, and the reason it's perforated is for more breathability. And then on top of that, you've got this really thin mesh for more containment. Just like most basketball shoes on the market, you've got these fuse overlays in high wear areas. One thing that's interesting is that they've actually given these fuse overlays more of like a suede-like texture rather than that glossy texture that you usually find on the overlays. I'm not sure if there's a good reason for that or if it's just aesthetic. I don't really know, but I don't hate it. In addition to these shoes being similar to the Soldier 10s in that it's a one-piece booty construction, another carryover is this strap across the midfoot, which I actually really dig, both visually and also for the fact that it gives your foot a little bit more containment and locks you into the heel a little bit better. And a nice detail is that when you lift up the strap, you can actually see LeBron's signature. The laces are held in place by flywire, and if you don't know what flywire is, basically what it does is it wraps around the inside of the shoe. So when you tighten the laces, it actually pulls the flywire together, which in turn pulls the upper of the shoe together, which gives you a much tighter fit. One thing you'll notice is that on the Lebron 14, Nike didn't just put flywire in the midfoot of the shoe, they actually put it near the top of the ankle as well to give you a tighter fit around your ankle. The main downside to flywire is durability, because over time it might rub and wear, and once it breaks, you're kind of screwed because you can't even tie your laces at that point. Personally, I haven't had any problems with flywire durability, so you should be okay, but it's just something to keep in mind. Moving back on the shoe, you've got this thick TPU heel counter on the lateral side. On the medial side, the heel counter is internal, so you can't actually see it. On the back of the shoe, you've got LeBron's logo and then this large pull tab. And you may have already noticed, but there are actually two really large pull tabs on the heel and on the tongue of the shoe. And the reason they're there is because this shoe's kind of a pain to get on your foot. I mean, I guess that's a good thing because it really fits your foot well, but that first time you try and slide it on your foot, ah, man, that sucks. Moving inside the shoe, you've got this pretty heavily padded ankle area. Around this part of the heel, there's actually this big bar of padding that sits right on your ankle, which actually feels great. The rest of the upper is pretty well padded, but that's all from the perforated foam and the neoprene lining. On the insole of the shoe, you've got 23 on the right foot and LJ on the left foot. Moving on to fit, this shoe fit very true to size for me. I didn't have any problems with it at all. Previous LeBrons have been pretty wide for me, but it looks like this pair they've actually slimmed down just a bit, so it should still be good for wide footers, but if you have a slimmer foot, you should be just fine. Moving down the shoe, you've got this speckled white Phylon midsole. The midsole itself is pretty thick, so you're not gonna get a lot of court feel, and if you're really looking for court feel, or if you're a guard, I'd probably go more with the Kyrie 3. Moving to the bottom of the shoe, you've got this translucent outsole with 4 different air zoom units. You've got 2 hex zoom units around the ball of your foot, and then another one in the midfoot, and then this really large air zoom unit in the heel. I've always been a slimmer dude, and LeBrons have always sort of been made for the bigger guys, so a lot of times I won't even really feel any of the zoom units. To be honest, when I was just walking around, I didn't feel them at all, but when I was actually playing basketball, a couple times I came down kind of hard, and that's where there was some pretty decent impact protection. So I'd assume for bigger guys, this is gonna provide you the kind of cushioning that you want. But for me, I'm more of a guard and I don't jump around a lot, so I don't really need this extra cushioning, especially since I can barely feel it. Even after playing in these, when I'm looking for a really cushioned shoe, I'd still prefer to go with the Crazy Explosive that has a full-length boost midsole, which, like the name suggests, is crazy. It's a crazy comfortable shoe. I just can't get over how crazy comfortable it is. So if you're a smaller dude like myself and you're really only getting this shoe for performance, this may not be the way to go cushioning wise. And finally, the last thing I wanted to cover on this shoe was the traction. I'm not sure how I feel about this yet, and that's probably because I haven't played in it too long, but first impressions, I'm not loving it. First off, Nike used translucent rubber on the outsole, and that's probably to show off their hex zoom units because they love doing that on LeBrons. The problem is Nike's translucent rubber compound kind of sucks, and it sucked on a lot of other shoes that they've used it on. On this pair, I didn't notice anything too crazy, but it wasn't really sticking the way I wanted it to. Granted, I was playing on a pretty dusty court. Not only that, but Nike actually separated all the zoom units into their own little pods, and so there isn't a huge amount of surface area on the bottom of the shoe. I mean, that's not bad in the toe. As with the KD9, because of this little groove here, you do get some nice articulation in the toe. But when you move back on the shoe, these grooves don't really provide any flexibility, and there's really no need for flexibility there. So I'm just wondering why they didn't make this one solid piece to give you more surface area to grip a little bit better. I'm assuming they're just doing that for aesthetics, and I have to admit, the bottom of the shoe does look pretty cool, but let's be honest, when are you really going to be looking at the bottom of the shoe anyway? And the last factor that I think really affects the traction of the shoe is this really weird traction pattern. It's got these weird like L-shaped and square-shaped punch-outs. I think Foamer Simpson said it best when he compared it to Tetris blocks because honestly, it looks exactly like that. My problem with it is that there isn't really any difference between the highest points and the lowest points, and the actual grooves that you get are so tiny that I'm not really sure what they're actually doing. I mean, it's a cool looking outsole, but performance-wise, I haven't really been impressed yet. Overall, I'm really excited about the direction that Nike took the LeBron line. I actually really dig the way the shoe looks. It looks a lot sleeker than the other LeBrons, especially the LeBron 13s with those stupid foam blocks. Hated those. Performance-wise, this is definitely a good shoe. I would say it's more of a big man shoe, but smaller guys like myself can still rock it. Definitely try this shoe on first if you can. If not, you should be okay going true to size. I'm really glad that Nike dropped the price to $175 because $200 was just way too much, and especially when brands like Under Armour and Adidas are coming out with great performers at like $150, $120, $110. I mean, they really had to step up their game. And although I think $175 is still definitely on the high end of performance sneakers, this isn't a bad pickup. Now that we've got the review out of the way, let's throw these guys on feet and see how they look. That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you think of the LeBron 14 and if you're planning to grab a pair for yourself. Also, don't forget to check out the Snups app. As I mentioned before, the link is in the description below. Make sure to give me a follow at Fowler Custom so you can see all my upcoming sneaker reviews in the sneaker reviews shelf. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to Fowler Customs if you want to see more content just like this, and follow Fowler Customs on Snups, Instagram, and on Twitter.